Hola, soy Zach. So for 30 days, I tried to learn Spanish, and it was interesting. What's the best way to learn Spanish? I have no idea. And I didn't do any research. I just jumped into the first resource that I saw Xioma using, which was Storylearning, Duolingo, maybe a little bit of Anki. So let's see how it went.
Okay, so it's day number 1 of my Spanish-speaking journey. Hola, ¿cómo está? That's what I know. That's the Spanish I know. For the next 30 days, I'm going to try and learn Spanish. So I'm going to start with Duolingo, a SoundCloud language exchange, and then there's this good story learning thing on the internet as well. Let's just get right into it. I'm just going to start doing some Duolingo right now.
A few minutes later.
Rafael no trabaja aquí.
So first days, I did Duolingo for a little bit. I did a little bit of SoundCloud, a language exchange program, and a story learning website, which helped you learn Spanish by reading stories in Spanish. And I quickly learned that Duolingo was an absolute waste of time. It was too easy and too slow. I wanted to commit hardcore and learn as much as I could in the shortest amount of time. That's where the SoundCloud listening and the story learning really came in.
So the idea behind this is I'm meant to listen to the story. Because it's a story, it'll be more fun to learn. And then I read the story, and then I read it and listen to it, and then I try and translate it. It sounds good to me because I like stories are more fun than just, memorizing vocab and stuff like that. But I feel like I know so little, absolutely nothing, that this is gonna be tough. Los tres amigos ya están. 3 friends have a corona? This is hard. Hola. Buenos días. Wait. Hola, buenos días. Ahora es día número 3 de estudio español. Me gusta estudiar español porque es felicidad. Estoy emocionado porque más tarde viajo en Buenos Aires para 5 semanas. But yeah, okay. It's a little, we have a lot of work to do. I was watching Xioma, who's this amazing YouTuber, and he's blasting it after 3 days. But I'm not blasting it. So right now I'm about to go into my first ever Spanish Zoom class with a teacher. I think it's a private lesson. So I'm going to try and, have some conversations because, what's the best way to learn Spanish? I think it's to go to a Spanish-speaking country. So, later tonight, I'm just going to go to Buenos Aires, for fun, to see if I can learn some Spanish.
And on the plane to Buenos Aires, I remember I had my first ever interaction with a Spanish speaker. So there was this lady. The flight attendant spoke no Spanish, which is interesting if you're flying to Buenos Aires. And this older lady was trying to pass by with her bag. But the flight attendant was saying, you have to hold and wait your bag because we need other people to pass or something like that. And my heart was beating so fast because I was like, okay, I think I know how to say this in Spanish. So maybe I'll try and do it. And I did it. And I said, necesitamos esperar, which means you need to wait, right? And then I think the old lady said, ¿Por qué? She said, ¿Por qué? And then she started speaking so fast and in a dialect that was a little bit different, and I had no idea what to understand. And I said, disculpe, porque no hablo, porque no hablo español. And she looked at me with the most crazy expression. And then so she said, okay. But then a real Spanish speaker came in and was like, okay, I got it. But I learned in that first interaction the importance of having real conversations with people that actually speak Spanish.
I'm just getting settled into the new location, Lego. Yegel? I arrived. I'm arriving. Don't know. It's been 18 hours of travel, so the first thing I'm gonna do is get some food, take a shower, and then I'll start to figure out my life. But I'm gonna hold off on a lot of the videoing today because I just gotta figure out my life. But I'm in Buenos Aires, learning Spanish. Okay, well, tomorrow. We'll talk tomorrow.
But luckily, I was in a Spanish-speaking country. I was in Argentina, and I was in the city of Buenos Aires. And then began my first Spanish class ever.
Hola, buenos días. Día número 5. Voy a clase número 2 porque yesterday I arrived very, very late to the class, like 1 hour late, but I got some great food, got some empanadas, got some sleep. I'm ready. Today I'm ready. Where I hopefully am able to talk more in Spanish. Okay, day number 5.
The formal classes were a little tough initially, but slowly they became better. What I found most helpful was in the class, they only spoke Spanish. I wanted more though, I needed more, and luckily everyone around me spoke pretty much only Spanish. And some people who spoke English would still speak to me in Spanish because they could tell that I was trying. I was trying to learn more Spanish and speak more Spanish. And my ultimate goal was one day to go to a Spanish restaurant and have them not say, ¿Quieres una menú en inglés? Because I just wanted them to be like, oh, this guy knows Spanish. We can give him a Spanish menu. But it's still really hard. I realize that, like, I still can't even have a basic conversation in Spanish, but it's getting better. I can say, you know what I want? I want the check. How much is this? I'm learning the difference between estar and ser. Ser or no ser. See, this is my notes on it. The other thing I'm trying to do is when I'm writing, other than I'm journaling right now, but other than my journal, when I'm writing, I'm trying to write only in Spanish. But for example, I wrote a list here of stuff I need to do, just to, you know, keep in that Spanish language mindset, and just kind of make it all through my head. I'm even watching, La Casa de Papel, to try and learn what they're saying in Spanish with Spanish subtitles and not US subtitles. It's tough too. Okay, keep going, Zach. Keep going. So my classes were from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. during the week in person at a Spanish-speaking school, and then in the afternoon I would do like an hour or two of private lessons on Baselang, which was like this talking service, and those were amazingly helpful. And this is where my Spanish took on a new level. If I was restarting learning a new language, like I'm going to start learning to speak Italian, or I'm doing a little bit of Italian now, having conversations with native speakers as soon as possible is so beneficial. And also like writing down the important words that I say all the time and just memorizing them. Like maybe, so, because, little bit, a lot. And if I was gonna rank the importance of kind of ways to learn a new language, in my experience, I'd say speaking with a native speaker is the best thing, like by a lot. And then formal private lessons, like one-on-one with someone, is like the next best thing. Then memorizing key vocabulary, and then maybe common conjugations. And finally, listening or reading to like authentic content in like Spanish. And by authentic, I don't mean content that's like, you know, meant to help you learn Spanish. I mean content that's like what people who are native Spanish speakers would read or watch, like Instagram Reels or TikToks in Spanish, or YouTube videos from Spanish speaking people. And this is what went on for about 2 weeks, and my Spanish got a good amount better. I would watch La Casa de Papel, I would go to football games, I would speak with my friends who only spoke Spanish. And this is the point where I saw a change. Instead of me having to be like, yo, quiero, blah, 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 I could be like, yo quiero una ba ba da ba da ba. I could speak in a normal rate and kind of get to the point where I could have okay conversations with people. And this was huge, because before people would be like, okay, we can't really speak Spanish together because it's just so slow and you're having to use Google Translate all the time. But now I got to the point where I could be like, como se dice, blah, 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 and like, also I want to do this and maybe this and how are you doing and all these kind of things. And I know if I stayed there for another month with only native Spanish speakers, my Spanish speaking abilities would be so much better. And if I ever really, really want to commit to learning a language, this is exactly what I'm going to do.
Buenos días, muchachos. Día número 15 en Buenos Aires, aquí en Nueva Airbnb. Estoy aprendiendo español. Más o menos. Estoy en semana número 3. Pero siempre días estoy hablando con personas de Buenos Aires, personas de escuela de español, y entonces it's getting better. Okay, that's enough Spanish for day number 14, but I think I'm quiet here because I'm on this amazing private rooftop thing. And an Airbnb. Behind me is the city of Buenos Aires. I'm in Palermo right now, and it's absolutely fantastic. I'm loving it. It's summertime here. What I was trying to say in Spanish earlier is that I thought I would be a little bit better after 2 weeks. I'm still much better than, when I first started. But after 2 weeks, I thought, I'd be able to hold a conversation, and I really still can't hold a conversation. I can get by, I can ask for the check at the restaurant, I can ask for it to go. Beyond that, I don't know much.
The most important thing, I think, was living in a Spanish-speaking country. And I saw this new, beautiful potential of learning a new language. I've never learned a new language. I've only spoke English my entire life.
Buenos días, este es día número 24. Me mejora, creo, porque cuando tiempo pasado escuché más y mucho tiempo con personas, con maestros, con porteños, personas de Argentina, y cuando estoy hablando todos los días o solo en español, es mejor de solo en Estados Unidos, cuando solo hablo en inglés, solo para 1, 2 o 3 horas en línea, y entonces creo mi español es mejor. Sí, creo. Y entonces, pero cuando quiero hablar con pasado o indefinido, hablaba, o ¿cómo se dice? Hablía, o habría cansado, es muy difícil, pero creo mejor. Y me encanta con la lengua de español, porque es muy lindo, es muy elegante cuando puedo hablar, sí. Estoy poco triste porque necesito viajar a Estados Unidos en 2 días, pero es el mejor experiencia de difícil. Números es difícil para mí, sí. Muchas gracias.
Nearing the end of my 30-day challenge, after trying to learn Spanish for 30 days, I have a couple final thoughts. First of all, I was amazed that I could actually have full-on conversations with people at the end of 30 days. Of course, they were abysmal and mostly only in the present tense, but there were still full-on conversations. I remember one time I was driving on a tour or something like that, and I saw a big protest going on, and I had my fancy video camera gear, so they thought I was a news reporter. And I came in and I started talking to the people in Spanish, and it was amazing. Imagine this interaction I could have with people that I would no way, shape, or form be able to have with these people if I didn't speak a little bit of Spanish. And they were saying something like the money's in the house, like they aren't sharing the money, some kind of political protest. And the people of Buenos Aires, the people of Argentina, were amazing. They were so happy and so excited that I was trying to learn Spanish and speak to them in Spanish. The only bad interaction I ever had when trying to speak Spanish in my 30 days in Buenos Aires was when I was speaking to a bus driver, and they usually say ¿Dónde ves? Where are you going? Where do you want to go? Because they have to calculate the rate in the bus or something like that. And when I first started getting on the bus, I had no idea what they were saying. No idea. So I said, disculpe, yo no sé, and they would be like, ba, 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 ba. I'd be like, and there were people behind me, and it was holding up the bus, and they would just say, adelante, adelante, go forward, and I think that was the only bad interaction I ever had trying to speak Spanish. And I was making friends who only spoke Spanish and a little bit of English. The best part of this was seeing a side of Buenos Aires, of Argentina, that I think I never would have seen if I didn't speak a little Spanish. It was like an unknown in my brain unlocked. A new part of my brain was revealed, a new thing that could happen if I learned a new language. And this part of my brain not only was, wow, Buenos Aires is an amazing, passionate, vibrant, beautiful city, but also that the people in the city were amazing. They were excited to speak to you. They were compassionate, they were friendly, they would take me to do amazing things, and these things wouldn't have happened if I didn't speak any Spanish.
Buenas tardes, amigos. Es última noche en Buenos Aires. Es última noche de challenge de español. Día número 30, creo. Día número 30. Pero sueño un poco triste, pero no he terminado con español, porque es muy interesante, es muy divertido, y he conocido muchas personas, y cuando hablo even un poco español, interacciones con personas es más mejor de cuando solo hablo inglés. Y también interesante porque segunda lengua, antes solo Solo entiendo solo una lengua inglés, solo inglés. Pero ahora puedo hablar un poco español con personas y con todas personas. Y entonces creo depender, ah, aprenderé mucho español en Estados Unidos y en línea porque cuando hablo español es interesante, es mejor, mejor de no hablo español. Y sí, último día de challenge, día número 30. Es muy lindo, es Buenos Aires, en Palermo. Entonces, gracias por mis amigos, de hablaron español conmigo porque es experiencia no recordó. No recordó. Okay, I tried to speak Spanish, but I think it actually is getting like, I can actually have like decent conversations. You can see pretty much only in the present tense, and when I can struggle, I can do like a little bit of the past tense, a little bit of the forward tense. But it's really amazing what you can learn in 30 days of just really putting your head down to it. So it's really like a mind-opening thing. It's almost like, I talk about this kind of a little bit with travel. It's this paradox, right? There are things there are things you don't know, and then there are things you don't know that you don't know. And I think this is kind of another one of those things that I didn't know, kind of how cool it is to be able to just speak to someone who's in a different culture, who's just grown up completely different than you, and you start to speak kind of in their language. It's an amazing thing, and you learn so much. And I think so much more than you would if you just spoke in your own language. It's kind of addicting. I don't know, what am I gonna do when I actually have to work and stuff instead of just looking at Spanish all day? Finally, one place I wish I checked out earlier for learning Spanish was Skillshare. Specifically, Peter Hanley has an amazing course that I would have done at about 2 times speed that I wish I did instead of the Storylearning, where I wasted tons of time. And this class gets you ready to speak Spanish in a couple of hours. Skillshare is kindly sponsoring this video, and over there I also have my own personal class on getting straight A's with flashcards. Beyond language learning and doing well in school, Skillshare courses have also helped me accomplish my dreams of becoming a doctor and becoming a YouTuber through productivity and video production courses. What are your dreams? What do you want to learn? I'll bet you can find a course on it on Skillshare. And the first 1,000 people to use my unique link will get the first month free. So you could access Skillshare a month for free and then cancel the subscription and pay absolutely nothing. So click on my link if you want that deal. But that is it. Thank you so much for watching. If this is your first time watching, mucho gusto. And I will see you on the next one. Nos vemos.